Hey, guess what? I could condense a 2,000-year wisdom slash philosophy course of discipline in 1 point. You want to know what that 1 point is? Stay tuned. I'll save you reading thousands of books. Get ready. Watch this.
A better you starts today.
You ready? I'm wiser than every Stoic that has come before me. And I do classify myself as a Stoic, actually. Just another thing under the belt. Well done. Go be. I'm also a Buddhist dojo master, Jedi, one of those people that believes in putting a spaghetti thing on your head. I believe in all of those religions, even the ones that are making fun of the fact that they're a religion. That's how wizened I am, and as such, putting all of Stoicism into 1 point can do so easy for me, especially. No one else has ever said this before, by the way. Not 50% of the books that you could buy at the airport will be saying this exact same point, including Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is one of the most profound books I've ever read, by the way. I actually do think that that is a lot more profound than a lot of ancient wisdom, because a lot of ancient wisdom, they're always just talking about, when you notice a bee in the wild. Well, we don't have any bees anymore. I don't even know what they look like. So, here's the point. What does Stoicism boil down to? I want you to answer that in your own head. What does it boil down to? You must know at this point. There's too many videos online about it. And the reason that I'm doing it right now is just because Stoicism's popular at the moment. But it is an ancient piece of wisdom. It is an ancient piece of wisdom, but it is all throughout self-help. And by ancient, I'm talking about the 80s, not 80 BC. I'm talking about this 1 point, which is you don't control anything externally. You only control what is within you internally. And ironically, this is the point that they leave out all the time. Ironically, if you do control yourself internally, you have maximum impact on the environment. It is the same point that Buddhists always make about if you are able to focus on something for 90 seconds, it's like, it's like one of those, I don't know if it's true or not, but they're just the man that focuses on a watch for a minute is the man that can control the world. It's just no one can do that. Everyone's mind wanders after 2 seconds going, oh, look, it's going to 5. Oh, shit. And they're not thinking anymore, I mean, thinking. That's one. I'm not thinking. So, what's happening when they're talking about internal control? Really, what are they talking about? They're talking about reflecting on your reactions to stimulus from the environment. I want you to write that down. They are talking about your reaction to stimulus from your external environment. So, now that I'm just staring at the camera, I'm too lazy to think of another one. I'm just going to go with it, which is another thing they're always talking about, by the way. But, we've already maxed out the 1 point that I promise I can condense Stoicism into. When I'm looking at this camera, I'm having a blast. I really like it when this camera's on. I feel happy. I feel at home. This is the best that I feel in a day unless I'm on stage. That's it. As I frequently say, the camera is my morphine, the stage is my heroin. That is not the same as, 99.9% of the population? 99.9% of the population hates being in front of a camera. They feel extremely self-conscious. They feel very self-conscious when they're on stage. Certain circumstances, yes, I do feel self-conscious, but here is my internal reaction to when I'm feeling self-conscious. My immediate reaction when I'm feeling self-conscious and embarrassed on stage is, great, I'm getting better at this point. Every time I am not embarrassed on stage, I'm kind of bored. I'm looking for those moments of, okay, I'm freaking out. That's a nice feeling. That's a nice little rush. Because I realize that I'm getting better at it as a result of doing that, and that is exactly what's happening when I am in front of a camera. I rarely ever feel like I'm making an idiot of myself. And you know why, ironically? It's because I've just become very comfortable with making an idiot of myself on camera. So, let's go back and look at those distinctions. Most people are scared of making an idiot of themselves publicly. I am scared of not making an idiot of myself publicly. Do you see how that's just going to make this is the same thing. You are on stage, I'm on stage. It's the same environment. There is a different internal response to that. Do you see the wisdom in Stoicism? Because if you don't, that's okay. I'll keep drilling at the same point for another 10 minutes. And then after that, you're out. And then you're just too stupid to understand the wisdom of the ancients. You should probably just concede yourself that you're just going to be a janitor. And every time I specifically see you on the street, I'm going to wind down my window and throw an ice cream at your head and then wind it up. And I'm going to say, and then I'm just going to yell very jeeringly that Future song, you deserve it. You deserve it. So there's high stakes in this video. You better keep going. So anyway, yeah, but look, that's what's happening there. Look, I am scared of not going on those stupid tangents because if I am not going on those stupid tangents, I am not amusing myself when I'm in front of the camera. And if I'm not amusing myself in front of the camera, what happens? You start getting bored in front of it. You start getting scared of being in front of the camera. You start dreading it. The whole point is that you are trying to make yourself in any environment that you are trying to master, you are trying to make it so and change things in your head. And it's not easy. The practice of Stoicism is not easy, but it is a discipline that has huge impacts on your life. I am doing all of those things when I'm in front of camera and I'm in front of stage because I want to get better at that. And that is the way forward to doing that. I am looking for more avenues to be in front of cameras. I'm looking for more avenues to be in front of audiences because I know that that plays into my natural talents in life. So what do? How do I control that? Well, the way to do it is that you start changing your internal interpretations. Every time that you have a fear, what is it that you can do about that? Well, you can't really externalize it and say, well, look, even this is an internal decision, right? Say you're about to do something that you're scared of doing. Say you're reaching for the cereal on the high shelf and you're just too short to get it because you're a midget. Another thing that I'll be laughing at you for, right? And so you're there going, and then you think of getting the ladder and you're so, I don't know why I'm using this example, and yet you think of getting a ladder to go up and get the cereal. People are like, I'm a big boy today, right? Even that decision of getting the ladder, what happened if you thought, no, I'll fall, and then you put the ladder away? Internally, that's something that's happened within you. Yeah? And so as a result, the environment changed. But it all starts within here. It all starts with, there is a problem in the environment that I need to change. That's the first part. There are things that you can't control that externally. The only way that you can control it first is internally, which is, am I going to fight or flight in this situation? Am I going to go and get the ladder so that I can go and put myself up there? Now, let's change it out. What's obviously happened in that situation when they were too scared to go and get the ladder is there was too much fear associated with getting it, i.e. the reward wasn't high enough. And so the theory of punishment in your head overrode that. And so you didn't get the ladder. What can you do about that? You can magnify in your head how good the reward is going to feel. And as soon as, you know, the feeling of nervousness really boils down to, right? The feeling of nervousness is sort of just like adrenaline pumping, but with like a nasty fear overriding the top of it. This is why in stage, all the time, they're always saying, if you're nervous to go on stage, just convince yourself that you're excited because it's pretty close to that feeling. It just has this is all you need to know. There is a nasty layer of fear over the top of it going, But really, and I know this from going on stage all the time, I don't get nervous going on stage to do my stand-up show anymore, right? That's why I'm looking for more challenges to make it more nerve-wracking to be on stage. Because you want to have those feelings, obviously, because that feeling is, the fear there is, I can't do this. And if you're coming up against the I can't do this feeling, what's happening there? You're coming across a feeling of, no, that's like growth. That nervous feeling, if you push into that feeling, you're going to grow in that situation. This is all just to say to you, all of these points that I've just outlined, all of those are changing internally my belief set, which then changes externally how I respond to the environment. And if I am changing how I respond to the environment, like the midget getting the ladder, see, it's all tied in, like the midget getting the ladder, I am changing the environment to suit me better. That's why they're always talking about don't focus on anything that you externally can't control. All you can do is change your interpretation of what that means to you. It doesn't matter what it is. Your parents die, let's put it this way. There's going to be some people, in fact, this is a grim saying. Have you ever heard this before? When someone's parents die, they're either sad or they're angry, so you better be choosing sad. And then there's some people like Eminem that will probably be celebrating their mum's death, right? And so, same event, very different interpretations. Why? Because they're focusing on that. They have different beliefs of what that external event means. Marcus Aurelius, when he was fighting the Germans, there would be a lot of emperors in his position, especially he was one that just wanted to be this legal reformer. He was just on the border for the rest of his life, fighting back wave after wave of barbarians and suffering from bone cancer. And he was a master of Stoicism, he chose to focus on the fact that he was doing the most meaningful thing that he could be doing with his life, despite the fact that he was not doing what he wanted to do with his life. He found comfort in that. That's what he was aiming at. That's what he was changing. He was changing it as in, when you are called to life, there are things that you specifically, because of the place that you have been born, because of the things that you should be doing with your life, you are supposed to be doing these things. You're supposed to be facing these specific issues. Being born an emperor, he wanted to make all these legal reforms, didn't have the time to do it. He had to be a wartime emperor. He was called on to that position in his life. And instead of being bitter about it, he found meaning in it, and as such became, despite the fact that he was just some bookish nerd that didn't have any lust for blood at all, one of the most successful military generals that the Roman Empire has ever produced. And as such, decided, because it was in his control at night time, to write a book that still inspires millions of people to this very day, because it is just outlining these things. In every situation ever, whether you're worried, whether you're upset, whether you're stressed, always think, I'm in control of how I'm reacting to this stimulus. And as soon as you realize that, you can start changing the meaning of what that actually means to you. Because remember, always, and I want you to write this down, whatever you're facing in life, someone, somewhere is celebrating that. Your mission is to just find how to do that to your specific circumstances. I gave you some examples of the things that have made me do more of this, instead of just like, I'm scared, and then stop. And then, 10 years fly by, and then I think, fuck, I work at fucking Qantas as a bad guy. So anyway, you don't want to work at Qantas as a bad guy, you know what you need to do. You need to sign up to Jordan Shakes, 3 extra videos a week, all of these fresh reminders in your email or however they're given. I think that's what happens. They get a notification of that. And then bam, one of those a day with all of these ones that we put up as just weekly reminders for free. There is more of those, but more specifically targeted, the better gems, I would say, that we put on there. And then obviously there's live seminars that I'm doing right now where I'm doing the test runs at some place in Sydney. I can't remember where it is, but if you're in Sydney, come there. Tickets selling fast. People really like it a lot. There's that end Churchill pump when he's just like, man, we're going to fight him on the beaches, and everyone goes, yeah, goes home. And they think about the possibilities of their life, which is the cool thing about doing these live things. There is nothing like being in a live environment and realizing around you that there's about like 100 people, there's an excitement in the air, and everyone thinks at the same time, my God, that would change my life if I implemented it. And here's the big one. They know they can. Because I've been brainwashing them for an hour straight for a low price of, let's be honest, way less than what you pay for a steak these days. Like, I think a steak is like $38. $25 for a steak for the mind.